What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Monday, y'all. We are here. Raising Kanan is back. Now, I told y'all we were going to do the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, but we're not. We're going to do that Wednesday. Because we're just going to go ahead and do all 3 episodes and just be done with it. We're going to do that Wednesday. But listen, Raising Kanan is back. And for those who know me, y'all know that this is my favorite out of the Power universe. Outside of obviously the original Power. Hello. But I love Raising Kanan. A lot of it is because that's my era. Like I grew up, I remember a lot of the fashions and things of that nature. No, I didn't grow up in New York. However, a lot of it resonates with me. Okay. But let me tell you what, because I'm going to be ranting. Okay. This is a rant and a review. So we're going to get to the review part, but let me rant for a minute. Let me tell y'all something. And when I say y'all, I'm talking about the people that this applies to, okay? This is the people that this applies to. There will be no rock slander over here, okay? There will be no rock slander. And I'm going to tell you why there will be no rock slander. Because Rock did everything in her power to keep her son out of this mess. Okay, she was trying to put him in the good tech school. The teacher said that he was smart, and they recommended that he go to and she put him over at the good school. Okay, she gave him whatever he wanted. She said, "Listen, just stay out the game. You let me handle the game. You stay over there." But you had to take D-Wiz out, baby. Nobody asked you to touch D-Wiz. As a matter of fact, your mama told you to stay out of it. Your mama told you to stay out. See, I remember how this all started. I remember how it all started. Kanan, you started this. Now, Rock, I am going to take something away, with the whole take your daddy out situation. That was a lot. But honestly, that was after you was already... Buck 20, my bad. D-Wiz was his friend. My bad. Yes, Buck 20. Thank you, Candy. Get me together. Buck 20 is who he took out. D-Wiz was his friend that Lulu took out, right? Now, the reason why I'm even going off on this rant like this is because, y'all know, I try to not look at other people's reviews, but I did catch a couple of TikToks, a couple of people with their little theories and stuff like that. And some people were saying, oh, well, Kanan, he don't have no emotion over taking out Lulu because Lulu took his friend out. I just think Kanan is a psychopath. I don't think it's that deep for him. I don't even think it's that deep for him. I don't think he thought that deep into it. He was going to take his mama out, and I think he had every intention of taking his mama out. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he meant to do that, okay? But then, Jukebox called Lou to get to the house because she knew that Kanan was on his way to the house to get to Rock. And, at the end of the day, Lou showed up, and there was a jostle and a jistle and a little da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And when it was all over with, Lou was sliding down the wall. And Kanan did it. And your mama is still protecting you, sir. Because let's be clear. Your mama could have handled that a million different ways. But the way she chose to handle it is to still protect you. So let's get into this episode. Let's go on and get into the episode. We left off last season with a lot of stuff going on. We finally met Breeze. Baby, I'm so glad we know who the hell Breeze is, because when I tell you we have been debating on the internet and every group forum and every panel and every review, baby, we done made Breeze everybody. We done made Breeze everybody. Myself included, we done made Breeze everybody, right? Breeze was the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, okay? So I'm so glad that we have finally met Breeze, and Breeze is none of the people we thought he was. Who knew he was going to be Snaps and Pop's nephew, cousin, whoever the hell he is? None of us knew that. We didn't even see that coming, okay? So shout out to us finally meeting Breeze. And let me tell you something about Snaps and Pops. Speaking of who we didn't see coming, We did not see that coming. That Snaps and Pops was actually the masterminds the whole time. Baby, Snaps and Pops have been playing this game from the beginning. We thought that they was over there retired, just getting a little, getting a little tutu here, there, and getting a little money here and there, a little kickback here and there. No, they have actually been controlling the board the whole fucking time. We find out that they the ones that took out oh boy. They the ones that took out the friend. We find out that they the ones that took out Crystal. Breeze is actually their protege that they put on the board. Like, they have been running this board the whole freaking time. Here we were paying attention to Rock and Unique, and that's not who we should have been watching. So Lou is gone. And can I say this to y'all? I know that some people were upset. Some people were in their feels about it. I'm going to be honest. Can I just tell y'all something? Well, let me rewind what I'm getting ready to say. Because what I was getting ready to say was, I don't think there's a lot of people that ain't going to make it out. But then I think about not OG Power, but I think about Power Book 2 and Force. And hell, they let a lot of people live. A lot of people walked away from Book 2, and a lot of people walked away from Force. So maybe a lot of people are going to walk away from this and cross over into the next chapter, which we know they're doing the next chapter with Breeze and the things, the origins. So maybe there are going to be a lot of people that's going to live, but I'm just not surprised to see us lose a major character. I'm just not, to be honest, because we knew it wasn't going to be Rock. Like, they left us on the cliffhanger, and I don't know about y'all, but I never thought it was going to be Rock. You thought it was going to be Marvin. I definitely thought we would lose Marvin before we would lose Lou. I'm going to be honest. I definitely thought once Lou got clean. Now, when Lou was out there getting, when he was out there getting drunk and stuff, it was any man's game. I mean, when he was out there getting drunk, it was any man's game. He was talking too much. He was being reckless. So, maybe. But Lou, I mean, I'm not even mad about it, if I'm really being honest, because the last 2 seasons, what are we really doing with Lou? First he in the game, then he out the game, then he become a drunk. He want to do his music, and then he gets the good job with the record company, but then he go back to the game. Listen, Lou didn't know what he wanted to do. Okay, Lou didn't know what he wanted to do, and Lou was going to end up. It was going to be somebody was going to get him. What is going to be interesting, though, it's going to be interesting. Let me say this, and I understand where we are right now. And I told y'all I'm ranting right now. I understand where we are right now with Kanan and his mama, just like Kanan just really hating his mama. Kanan just really hating his mama. Like, I understand that that's where we are. Like, I get it. I get it that that's where we are. But I see a path. I know we keep going back to this one line when Kanan got out of jail and he said he had to visit his mama. And again, we've been debating about whether he meant go to the cemetery or if his mama is still really alive somewhere. I see a path that we could get to a point where Kanan and his mom, I'm not going to say reconcile because I don't think they best friends or nothing like that, but I could see a point where they're not enemies anymore. I could see a path to that. I could definitely see a path to that. It moves the story along and it puts a stamp on why Kanan and Rock fall out for real, and the start of Kanan and Lunchbox and Jukebox issues. Well, we've kind of seen the cracks in Kanan and Jukebox issues for a while, but you're right, because Jukebox is going to figure it out. Jukebox is definitely going to figure it out, and it also sort of explains why Jukebox really kind of just left New York and was like, F all of this. I think Marvin dies. At some point, Marvin gets killed. I'm sorry. I hate that for y'all. Marvin is my favorite character, but Marvin don't make it. I just hate to be the one to tell y'all Marvin don't make it. In my opinion. I ain't read the script, but in my opinion, Marvin don't make it. But I think, Xavier, I think eventually we're going to find out that snaps. And so here's what I think eventually is going to happen. And because we know that there's a sequel to this, I can't say if it's going to be this season or if it's going to be on Origins. But I think a time does come where Kanan finds out that Rock didn't do what he thinks Rock did. Because Kanan really believes that Rock took out Famous and really took out Crystal. And at a certain point, I think he finds out she didn't. When that's going to happen, I don't know. But I think with the way the chessboard is starting to move, I honestly think he finds out at some point. Now, how he going to find out, who going to tell him and all of that, I don't know. But at some point, I think he finds out. Now, Marvin is doing what Marvin does best. Marvin is eating his breakfast, and him and Juke are talking, and the police come to his house. And of course, when the police show up, obviously the thought is, especially with Marvin, the thought is, oh shit, they didn't come to get me for something. But they would need him to come down to the police precinct and make an ID. I know some people might say, well, why didn't they go see Rock? Technically, Marvin is the next of kin because isn't Marvin the oldest? And both of their parents are gone. So technically, Marvin is the next of kin. Lou's not married. So Lou has to make the identification. And let me be honest. That scene with Marvin and Juke in the car crying, baby, that thing about took me out. Baby, that thing, it about took me out. I mean, that was so raw and that was so real. You in the game, you know that you can go at any time, but, it don't make it any easier. Hold on. Oh, let me put this up on the screen. Marvin is heartless too, except for when it comes to that little white girl. Well, and when it comes to his family. When it comes to his family, Marvin don't play. I mean, we're going to get to that in a minute, but Marvin don't play when it comes to his family. Props to the team for keeping this under wraps with no leaks. Yes, Jaguar, I agree. I thought Rock was a goner. Lou is a G, but he was more into the music. And as they say, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks, right? I agree with you. I agree with you as well that there were no leaks. There were no spoilers. There was nothing. Like, we had no clue. Now, I did not think that Rock died. But I did believe, I thought Rock was going to get shot. I just didn't think he was going to do a good job because it's Kanan. So, but I did think he was going to actually shoot her. Now, I ain't going to tell you, but I didn't think she was going to die. There was never a thought in my mind that Rock was dead. I never went down that road. When I saw the trailer and I saw that they were at a funeral, because I could tell that, Rock had on all black. I could tell they was at a funeral. And when Rock said, Kanan, you ain't never met, you ain't never had an enemy like me, that's what I figured it was either Lou or Marvin. Because those are the only two people left that she give a damn about. Like, who funeral she at that she would care more about other than those two. We knew it wasn't Jukebox because Jukebox is in the original Power. She's still alive. So we knew it wasn't Jukebox. So when I saw the trailer, I sort of had a clue that it was one of them because the mama's already gone. Rock ain't really seeing nobody right now. Like, it could only have been Lulu or Marvin in my mind. So that's another reason why I wasn't really shocked because I figured when I saw the trailer, one of them was gone. You thought it was the grandmother's funeral because we didn't see Miss Joyce's funeral. I didn't think it was. That was a good thought, but that was a good thought, but that didn't hit me. That's not what I thought, but that was a good thought. Now, while all of these things are happening, Unique is looking for his baby mama and his son. Remember that Lou, because they were at war at the end of the season, Lou had kidnapped the baby mama and the son, and so Unique is looking for her. And Unique knows that he knows that Lou's rapper had kidnapped her, so he's looking for her he goes to the girlfriend's house and he threatens the girlfriend basically and says, listen, well, the baby mama, whatever. And he kind of threatens her, whatever. But they eventually figure out where he is because she had enough information that they were able to sort of piece together that she was at that they were keeping him at some abandoned mall. Now, before Marvin could get there, because of course the rapper's waiting for Lulu to come back. Before he can get there, they realize he ain't coming back. Brilla, thank you. Y'all know I remember all these people's names. Brilla. Lou ain't coming back, but he don't know that, so he's waiting for Lou. And before he could figure out what he gonna do, Unique stomps in, takes him out, gets his baby mama and his son. Now, the baby mama said, listen. And it was so funny. I love how she told Unique. She said, Unique, let me explain something to you. I've known you since we was in middle school, okay? And I ain't always believed what you said, because I do sometimes you was full of shit. But I always believed in you. But when it was just me, that was one thing. But now it's me and it's my son, and I can't do this anymore. Now, again, I saw some people complaining about that, everybody got a breaking point. Everybody has a breaking point. So for people to be like, well, I mean, he been putting them in harm's way and da-da-da-da-da. Yes, because honestly, Ronnie would have been there for me, baby. You let Ronnie move in with his creepy ass walking around, talking crazy to me and shit. Like, that would have been the last straw for me. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. But baby, everybody got a breaking point. And then you disappear. I mean, we know now why you disappear. But then you disappear, you leave me broke. I had to move back in with my mama. I ain't had no car no more. I had to get on the subway and I had to take my clothes to the laundromat and I had to wheel my groceries home in the way. Listen, it was a lot going on, and that probably would have been the last straw for me. But I can't tell nobody when to leave. I can't tell nobody when to leave. And he was cheating, right? And he was cheating. So listen, everybody got their final straw. I can't tell nobody when to be done, But she finally was done. Okay, she was finally done, and she told Neek, I'm out of here. So we see her leave. Now, the question is, I didn't see him stick his finger up at Unique, but I saw when he was trying to talk to Unique, and he wasn't paying Unique no damn attention. I did see that, but I didn't see him stick his middle finger up. But I could believe it. Now, the question I have is, are they writing her off the show because they no longer really want Unique to have that Achilles heel? You know what I'm saying? As a character, they don't want him to have that Achilles heel. Or did they write her off the show to give Unique an exit strategy, an exit plan? Oh, he didn't. Oh, okay, because I was like, I didn't see that part, but I did see where Unique talking about something. I'm gonna see you soon, and old boy was like, yeah, all right, whatever, nigga. I'm like, he was like, whatever. So the question is that Unique's exit strategy? Because what we do know is that we don't see Unique on regular Power, and we don't hear his name. Like, we hear Breeze's name all the time. I don't think we ever heard Unique's name, and if we did, it must have been early on, and I missed it. But I don't remember hearing anybody ever talk about Unique. So we know Unique is not there, and we know that Unique, by the time Ghost and Tommy came around, he must not have been a major player. So Unique, at some point, either Unique voluntarily leaves or Unique involuntarily leaves. One of the two. And I could definitely see it being Breeze, because we'll get to that, but we see where him and Breeze sort of had this contentious situation, right? Now, down to the police precinct. We see the cop. The captain is retiring, and he basically tells the cop, look, don't stop trying to figure out what happened to, Kanan Daddy. Don't stop. Well, he don't know what's Kanan Daddy, but y'all know what I'm saying. Don't stop digging. Don't stop trying. Like, that's the mark of a good cop. Somebody, he said, I wasn't able to solve it during my time here, but you gotta fight the good fight. You gotta hold on and fight the good fight. So we see that he's still trying, child. He's still trying to, he's still trying to get the jukebox, baby. Jukebox Maybe he rolled up on Jukebox, after Jukebox, of course, about Lulu and everything. And he gonna roll up on Jukebox and Jukebox ain't giving him nothing. And Jukebox, he gonna say to Jukebox, I've been playing good cop with you. I might have to turn into bad cop. Baby, look, Jukebox said, good cop, bad cop, all the same to me. I said, you know what? Jukebox really don't care, sir. And when somebody doesn't care, there's no threat. Jukebox knows you don't really have nothing on her. That don't mean that Jukebox ain't done no dirt. We know she has. But she does not fear whatever you may or may not have on her. She doesn't fear it. So you talking about something, I'm going to have to go bad cop on you. She was like, good cop, bad cop. They all the same to me. And walked off and left him standing there because he ain't had nothing after that. It was almost like, he was like, well, damn. Like he didn't have nothing after that. Where do you go? Where do you go from there? Jukebox has to be the worst CI. She literally never knows anything. Right. I mean, you know. So Marvin is out for blood. And he's talking to Rock. And of course, Marvin is like, why you not as mad as I am? And, you know, Rock is like, look, I hold my grief the way I hold my grief. You can't tell me how mad I am. You can't tell me how upset I am, you know. But we know what it really is, you know. But Marvin is ready for blood because, of course, they assume that Unique did it. That daggone Unique get blamed for everything. Unique, listen, that's another reason why Unique, I don't think he gonna make it. Because that damn, he get blamed for everything. He gonna get blamed for Lulu. He ain't do that. He did not do that. Now again, he has done some dirt, but he ain't do that. Marvin knows where they're holding Unique's girlfriend and baby, and I'm glad, and son, and I'm really glad that Unique had gotten there first because we already know how that would have went if Marvin had gotten there first. I don't even need to say it. We already know, and we're gonna move on with it. Unique understands that he's gonna be blamed for it. You know, of course, word hits the streets. Everybody know Lulu is down, and so he goes to the Italians looking for some help. Now, old boy tells him, look, I don't have time for you and your shit because I'm in the middle of a war. Because see, what they always say, if you're going to take a swing at the king, you better not miss. Baby, you took a swing at Stefano, and Stefano lived to tell the story. Because Stefano is still alive. And he's in his hospital bed holding court. And he done basically told his people to the mattresses, let's get it done. So the Italians are over there at a they're at a full-fledged war. And he lets Unique know, I can't help you. I can't do nothing for you. Look, I got my own shit that I'm dealing with right now, and you can't help me, and I can't help you. So good luck. And you can go. I can't get used to Tony Danza cussing, and you know, I feel like he a little too comfortable making them racial comments too. I don't know if he that good of an actor, but I like Tony Danza. So until I find out something different, he acting, you know. Jukebox and Kanan have a conversation, and it's very similar to the conversation that Marvin is having with Rock. Like he's up, you know, she's upset and she's feeling some kind of way, and Kanan just ain't giving her nothing. And she's again, she starts putting stuff together. She said, well, you know, the last time I talked to Lou, I told Lou to head over to your mama house because I knew you was headed over there and you was on some shit. And of course, you know, he was like, well, I ain't see him when I was there. And she was like, well, what happened with you and your mama? You know, and he kind of blew it off. But listen, Jukebox is the smartest person on this damn show. Okay, she's smarter than everybody on this show. She's going to figure it out. Now, when she going to figure it out, how she going to figure it out, and what she going to do about it when she figure it out, those are questions we don't have. But the reality of the situation is she's going to figure it out, in my opinion. And again, what she does with that information, I can't tell you. What we do know is she lives to tell the story, obviously, because she makes it to OG. To the original power. So we know she lives to tell the story. But we'll find out. Okay. The fact that Kanan and Rock's lives were so in sync is crazy. Because because they connected. They're the same person. Like, as much as he hates Rock, as much as he don't want to acknowledge that Rock taught him well, she taught him well. He just chooses not to use the lessons that she taught him. But she taught him well. Down to the restaurant, Breeze is talking to Snaps and Pops, and they're basically laying out the lay of the land. They're telling him, look, you need to link up with Unique. You need to link up with, while you setting up shop, you can use our old pawn shop as your base. You need to link up with Kanan. You need to link up with Unique. And I think that's going to be the great trifecta. Y'all are going to be running shit. And of course, give us our cut. Let's be clear. At the end of the day, it's always about give us our cut. Unique realizes that he needs some support. He needs some help. He needs somebody on his side. So he reluctantly, with his tail tucked between his legs. No, actually, let me rewind. Marvin, when he can't find Unique, he goes to the tailor shop and he tears it up. How many times they gonna tear up this damn tailor shop? I mean, Unique said it. How many times he gonna have to rebuild this damn tailor shop? So they go down to the tailor. So Snaps and Pops go down to the tailor shop and they tell Unique, look, you need to link up with our nephew. Like, we know that Rock is looking for you. Y'all in the middle of this war. You don't have no product. Like, you dry. You need to go on and link up. You need to go on and link up. Rock goes to her supplier and lets her supplier know. Now, I didn't quite catch this conversation, so y'all can help me out. Xavier, Halfpen, Candy, Nubian. If I missed you, my bad. But y'all know y'all my people that y'all really be watching the show and y'all follow stuff. And maybe it's something from last season that I just don't remember. I was a little lost in this scene because was she telling the guy that she fucked up the re-up? Like, what was she telling him that he was like, promises made, like, your word is your bond? And he was basically threatening Rock, like, look, don't come in here with all this bullshit. You came in here with all these promises and you was coming in here like you was Queen Bee, you was boss of New York and you was going to be all right. And now you coming in here talking about something you fucked up, but you going to get it together. Are we going back to the war and with like the Chinese restaurant and all that? Like, is that what we talking about? Y'all let me know in the chat. But either way, she went to go visit him. Now, what she also peeped, though, because, again, everything with Rock, one thing about power, nothing is an accident. So when Rock went to go visit him, she peeped that this woman was come running out, and this woman was pissed off at him. So Rock done peeped it. Now, I don't know if that's the boyfriend. I don't know if that's the girlfriend. I don't know if it's the wife, whatever. But Rock peeped that there's a female. And, there's always that Achilles heel. When you have a relationship, there's always the Achilles heel. She was putting a pause on the shipments. She was telling him to hold off on center. Okay, got it. Okay. Because I knew it was something I missed in that. I knew it was something in that I was missing. But it was something with that girl running out of there that Rock peeped. She going to put that in her back pocket. But nothing is an accident on this show. Nothing is an accident. Remember Basie Skank's snake turn? Her distribution is messed up. Okay. I knew it was something, Now we got this whole situation with the little white girl. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really don't care nothing about this. But the fact that they showed it to us tells us that this is going to come into play. Tremont put her in a trick bag. So I might have to go back and watch because I don't remember what y'all talking about. I might have to go back and watch. Damn, I have to go back and watch last season because I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't remember this. I thought Basie Skank's been gone. Damn. Okay. I might have to go back and watch last season. I might have to go back because I don't know what y'all talking about. I might have to just go back and watch my reviews from last season. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back and I'll probably just go back and watch my reviews because I don't remember what y'all talking about. When you say he put her in a trick bag. I really gotta go. Okay. I go back and look at it. So Lil Slick head guy came back last season. That's why I don't like when they put these shows on hiatus for so long because there are some things that we forget about. Yeah, because I don't remember that. So I'm gonna have to go back because I honestly don't remember. I know who y'all are talking about. I just don't remember what happened. Like I remember the Chinese restaurants and the shootouts and the people die. Like I remember all of that. I do not remember the Basie. And for people who don't know, the Basie Skanks, that's the character he played on Greenleaf, so I knew who Xavier was talking about. Okay. I'm gonna just go back and watch my reviews from last season because I'm sure in my review, I talked about it. So rather than go back and watch 10 episodes from last season, I'll just go back and watch my reviews and just refresh my memory because I just don't remember. I just do not remember. Okay. So I don't know where they're going with the story with the little white girl that, when Marvin went in and saved her. I don't know where we're going with this, but the people don't believe that it was a white guy with tattoos. I mean, they clearly know she's lying. They just don't know who she's covering for and why she's lying. I don't know. I don't know if that's how they finally get Marvin. I don't know. I do not think Marvin goes to jail, though. I think Marvin gets unalived. I don't think Marvin lives to tell a story. I could be wrong. I mean, they may be planning to put Marvin in jail and then his character still be around in Origins. But, maybe he's in jail talking to Juke and talking to Kanan. I don't know. But the only reason why I could see them keeping this a thing is they're trying to get Marvin locked up. And I just don't see Marvin living. I just don't. I don't see Marvin living out. I don't see him living through this. But again, if they're going to put him in jail and then have him on Origins kind of being like the family guru from jail, okay, maybe, The fact they focus on the white girl makes me think that's how they get to Marvin. Garcia then uses that as leverage. Okay, my theory is he forces Juke to join forces to keep Marvin out of jail. That's a theory, Jaguar, and I like it. I like that theory. That's a theory, and I like it. Because there's no other reason why I feel like they're keeping that storyline going. Because let's be clear, if they hadn't shown me that little white girl, I would have never thought about this. I honestly wouldn't have thought no more about it. So I agree. That's a good theory that they figure out that it's Marvin and they use that as leverage to get to Juke. I could see that. Because the reality is Marvin ain't gonna be no snitch. Marvin ain't gonna tell shit. But I could see Juke wanting to protect her dad in doing it. So okay, I could see it. Right. There's a reason. I mean, nothing is by accident. So we know that there's a reason why, sometimes they be wasting storylines because y'all know, I feel like they fucked up and wasted the Ronnie storyline so bad. I feel like there was so much more and so many different directions they could have went with that Ronnie storyline instead of just turning them into a Michael Myers fucking psychopath. Like, I just feel like it was so much more they could have done with Ronnie. So much more. But it is what it is. They did what they did and he dead now. So, Kanan's crew is getting restless because they don't have no work, which means they don't have no money, which means they're not making no money. So even though Kanan does not want to necessarily work with Breeze, he's kind of stuck and he kind of has to because he really doesn't have any other outlet. and where to get some work from, and he's in danger of losing his crew. So we see towards the end of the episode where he's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna have to kind of link up, you know, with the crew, with Breeze and his crew. So we you know, that's what we already know where that's going. So we just gonna get there. Like, we know that Kanan ends up linking up with Breeze. Like, we know that. So we just got to get there. Ronnie was like Michael Myers. He scared me. He needed to go. But so when I say they wasted that storyline, they turned Ronnie into this crazy, unreasonable psycho. Like, even when, like, what scene was that when he was walking and the person was running and he was just walking and he still caught up? It was like, I was like, this is straight out of a 1980s horror film. Like, it was crazy. I just feel like they could have still made Ronnie a ruthless, getting out of jail. I want my block back. They still could have done that with Ronnie. I just think them making him so institutional. I guess they were trying to make it seem like he was institutionalized. I just feel like they made so institutionalized. It was just, and then for them to do all of that just for it to end the way it ended, I just was like, I just felt like it was so much more they could have done. But anyway. Ronnie was like, oh, I just read that. If you remember how Police Academy starts, Mahoney gets forced into the service and he can't quit. I think it's the same thing here. Garcia makes Juke join the police and she can't quit, or Marvin goes to jail. I could see it. And she definitely, we know she's got that military background, even though she didn't finish. She was at the top of her class in every damn thing. Right. His obsession. That's what I'm saying, Xavier. His obsession with rock, the whole connection with DEF CON, like, there was so much. I really, so if I were in the writing room, what I would have done with Ronnie, first of all, Ronnie would still be alive. If I'm writing it, Ronnie's still alive. If I'm writing it, I still have Ronnie coming out of jail, wanting his block back, not trusting Rock. I feel like there was so much information that Ronnie could have given us about that background that we never got. Like, we know that Rock was a kid dating DEF CON, that she was sort of his shield. She was his beard. She was a CI because she was messing with the cop. Like, we know bits and pieces, but why did Ronnie hate her so much? I feel like there was a story that they could have given us there, right? They could have given us a story. And then even with Ronnie finding out that Unique was messing with Rock, what's going on? What do you know, Ronnie, that you're not telling us? Like, did you know she was a snitch? Did you know she was messing with the cop? What are you sitting on? And I feel like they could have given us that. Ronnie's connection to Pops and Snaps, like, you could have given us more of that background and that connection. I already told y'all I want a prequel with Snaps and Pops. I want us to go back to the 1970s. I want to see Snaps and Pops. I want to see how they got to where they got to. I would love a prequel. And if we get a prequel, maybe we'll get a Ronnie in the prequel. Because I feel like they kept throwing these hints. Like, Ronnie knew something about Rock and there's a connect. Like, they kept throwing these breadcrumbs, but then they never gave it to us. And so it was just like, it just didn't make sense. But anyway, that's water under the bridge because it don't matter. They can't do nothing about it now. But now if they give us a prequel, at this point now, I want to see a pre-jail Ronnie. I want to see a high school Rock. I want to see DEF CON. What the fuck? I want to know why Pops and Snaps is running every damn thing. We know they was thieves going back to the 1970s. Give it to us. Give us the prequel. But anyway, ain't nobody asked me. And if y'all steal my idea, you better call me. Stars, 50 Cent, whoever the hell is running things down to the stars now. If you take my idea, y'all better call me. That's all I'm saying. For most of the season, it seemed as if they were implying that Ronnie was DEF CON's lover and was jealous of Rock. Now, see, I didn't get that, Xavier, until you just said that. However, that is an interesting point. Now, wouldn't see if they had made Ronnie a little less psycho and could actually hold a conversation and have a dialogue with somebody, wouldn't that have been a great scene to see Ronnie and Rock have a one-on-one scene and Ronnie letting Rock know, listen, I know Kanan don't belong to DEF CON. And this is how I know. Boom, 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 back, back, back. Baby, now see, now we cooking with grease. See, now we cooking with grease. See, now, Xavier, I didn't go there, Xavier. But now that you going there, my brain is going there. Baby, can y'all imagine if Ronnie had confronted Rock and revealed that the reason why he know is because him and DEF CON was secret lovers. Yeah. Now, see, that's what I mean when I say they really wasted Ronnie's character. There was so much more we could have done to give us a background. See. Candy said, Xavier, they did imply that something freaky was going on between them. See, I missed it, but I see it now. I see it. Xavier said, and the reason I thought Ronnie was gay was because of the club when the women were flirting with him and he rejected them. When Julia tried to flirt with him, he didn't like it. Mm-hmm. Now that you bring it up, Xavier, I see it. Oh, I see it, Xavier. See, I thought that was just him being institutionalized. You know what I'm saying? But I see it. I see it. See, that would have been a great storyline. Can you see Ronnie rolling up on Rock? And then it would have made sense. Like this obsession with Rock and Kanan and him wanting to get close to Kanan and trying to figure out, baby, it would have all made so much sense. Now, at the end of the day, Ronnie would still have to die because Rock definitely can't let that get out. But it would have given us so much more. Okay, back to this. So, Jessica, ain't that the girl's name? Ain't that Jukebox girlfriend? Jessica came to visit Juke. I'm gonna be honest and tell y'all the only reason why I feel like we're getting this scene, because hell, I don't be thinking about these people. The only reason why I feel like we getting this scene is because the cop is outside and the cop sees Jessica pull off. So that's why I was thinking that the cop was going to use Jessica against Juke, not necessarily Marvin. But we could see that. He's something, but he definitely don't mind taking folks out by his hands. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we saw that, we have a touching scene when Marvin is in Lulu's apartment. We get the flashbacks of Lulu and that kind of thing. That was, and I'll take with me the memories. Okay. Now, while this is going on, Kanan visits Breeze down to the fight club. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I fast forwarded through most of this. I don't like all that boxing, fighting, and all that. But, again, there was the fight club, and the guy wanted to quit, and Breeze told him he couldn't quit. I don't know what happened after that because I fast forwarded. And then, of course, Kanan and Breeze, they get to talking. So, again, we see where they're making the connection. Unique, this is when Unique actually goes to talk to after Kanan talks to Breeze, then Unique goes to talk to Breeze. And we know that Breeze ends up giving Kanan a corner because when Breeze is talking to old boy about the re-up, old boy done fucked up the re-up. He gets now he done fucked up the re-up, but he worried about the fact that Breeze is giving Kanan a corner. Sir, You have bigger fish to fry. You fucked up the re-up. You don't have time to be worried about Kanan getting a corner. You fucked up the re-up. But we know that that's what happened. Okay. Right. The montage of memories, yeah. It was a rehash of Zion from Power Book 2. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. So now we get to the fume. And I only have one question. Who the fuck told Marvin he could speak? Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that Marvin was going to get up there and say anything other than what he said? When I saw Marvin stand up and start walking, I said, what are we? Whoa. Hold, wait a minute. What are we doing? Who said he could talk? What is wrong with y'all? Y'all already knew what Marvin was going to give y'all. Right. Who? Like, who? Y'all know better than this. Marvin got up there and cussed everybody out. And then he told Pastor, you better go on and pray for him because I don't even remember the quote now, but basically he told him, I run into him, he's going to meet his maker. So you better pray for him, the person who did this to my brother, because I'm going to take him out. But when I tell y'all that shit took me out, I was in here dying laughing. That damn Marvin. I love Marvin. Marvin cut up at the damn funeral. And notice nobody tried to stop him. Like even when Rock and Jukebox were trying to get him to stop talking, they didn't move. Like nobody got up to try to get him. I guess they said we can't do nothing with him. I mean, I guess they were like, we can't do nothing with this. What do y'all want us to do with this? What y'all want us to do with this? What we supposed to do with this? We all been at the funeral. Listen, I don't know if I've been that bad. I don't know if I've been that bad. But I definitely been at a funeral where I had to have some questions. You right. They're going to meet me before they meet Jesus. Yeah, but something along those lines, Katie. Yeah. Yep. Something along those lines. So, all of those women was there. The AR exec, like all the people was there. The bar owner, they was all down to the funeral. They gave him a great send-off. The church was packed. I'm sure he got all of the things. I'm sure he got the best coffin and the best this and the best that, casket, coffin, whichever. I'm sure he got all the things, okay? Now, when the funeral is over, Rock lets Kanan know, listen, we done. Like, I know you've been done with me, but I still been trying to protect you. And I'm still really protecting your ass, because if I give Marvin the word, Marvin is going to kill you. I mean, that's just the point blank end of it. I think that would be the end of it, right? And Kanan is like, whatever. We've been enemies. I don't care. Ain't scared of you. Don't have nothing to say. And Jukebox is peeping it. Jukebox is peeping it. And like I said, we all know that Jukebox is not stupid. Jukebox already know that she sent Lou over to that house. And she know that where they found Lou's body ain't nowhere near Rock's house. So what was Lou doing How did Lou get there? Who did he run into before he got to Rock's house? See, Jukebox not stupid. Now, here's the thing. When she figures it out, what does she do with the information? I was waiting for the preacher, baby. Rock done put too much money in that preacher's hand for him to say nothing, baby. He was like, whatever. We about to replace the roof of the church with how much this funeral is costing. We about to replace the roof of the church around these parts, honey. We good. We good. And let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you why this scene pissed me off so bad. This scene pissed me off so bad because it kind of goes back to where my rant was at the beginning of this. You keep blaming Rock for everything as if you did not. A lot of Kanan's issues he did himself. Again, taking the daddy situation out of it, I still think Rock, that was a bit much to ask that boy to take his own daddy out. That was a lot. Rock, I still don't understand that thought process, but okay, it happened. But again, going back to episode 1, season 1, Kanan, that was all you. And then remember when Kanan decided he was going to cook crack and he ended up killing all the crackheads in the neighborhood because he fucked up the recipe because he didn't want to listen because Rock told him he wasn't ready, but he did it anyway. So then what did Marvin have to do? Marvin had to cover his tracks. Marvin had to go out there and cover them tracks. See, at the end of the day, a lot of people been looking out for you, Kanan. You don't even know. A lot of people you even mad at your mama for taking Ronnie out when Ronnie was getting ready to take you out. Rock took your daddy out. You ain't even like that nigga. I mean, I'm sorry. Kanan took Ronnie out and Rock took the daddy out. My bad, Xavier. Thank you. Yeah. But it's like you bringing up your daddy as if you didn't understand why Rock did it. At that point, he knew too much. Remember, he was threatening to take all y'all asses to jail. Like, there really was no choice in that. There really wasn't a choice in that. And I'm sorry. Yes, that was your daddy, but there really was no choice in that. Sorry, not sorry. And the only reason she took Howard out was because he was going to lock up Marvin. Right. They was going to lock up Marvin. So again, Kanan, these people have been protecting you, and the fact that you have such venom against Rock and half the shit you mad at Rock for. And I understand that you think she killed Famous and you think she took out Crystal. Why you thought she would kill? I mean, and I know why, y'all. We don't have to rehash it, but in your logical mind, why would you think that she would take out Famous? In your logical mind, like, come on. But neither here nor there. They have their little stand down, and of course, they're officially at war at this point, I guess. Now, I feel like the reason why, and I agree with y'all that Breeze is going to end up taking out Unique, is just because of the way that Unique rolled up in there on Breeze. Like, he really rolled up in there like he doing Breeze a favor. Sir, you need Breeze. Breeze really don't need you. And, you know, he really walked in there with this, you know, attitude, this arrogance, this, you know, I'm the man kind of thing. Should have told your daddy to stop interfering in your mama's business. And my thing is, Howard knew what it was. Like, you've known Rock for 20 years. Like, you know what it is. So I think it was a strong season opener. I agree with you guys that they didn't let any spoilers out, which made it even better because none of us were ready for Lou to go out, and especially not go out the way he went out. I definitely see where they're setting up. I mean, it's power, so it never goes in the direction I think it's going to go in. But I definitely, well, I can say never, but a lot of times it doesn't go in the direction I think it's going to go in. But I definitely see a lot of storylines here. We know it's the final season, so we know certain things have to either be wrapped up or be ready to be carried over into Origins, which we know we're going to get Origins next. Where we see the Breeze Kanan partnership, and then we eventually run into Ghost and Tommy. So we're ready for it, right? I think we definitely, hey Pat, I think we definitely opened up. We got some storylines ready. We got some storylines ready. So with that being said, you guys, that's what we have. We will be having our tribe meeting at 6:45 ish. We never got any spoilers from Raising Kanan, unlike the other shows. I wonder why. I don't know. Well, Lou got more than 2 seconds. He had a whole flashback montage, and I feel like we're gonna flashback. I feel like we're gonna maybe we may get a few Lou flashbacks. But I mean, listen, it's the. I think it's naive to think that we're gonna have a final season of a show like this and not lose a major character. Again, we know we don't lose Kanan. We know we don't lose Jukebox. We know we don't lose Breeze. So those three people we know we're not going to lose. I think that it's naive to be like, oh, well, we're not going to lose anybody else. We're going to lose, and we're going to probably lose some more major characters before it's over with. I mean, it's a show about people at war. I mean, we know that the Italians right now, they fighting each other, but at some point they coming back around. They're coming back because we saw it in the previews that Stefano was talking to Kanan. So at some point, even that comes back around. So to think that we're not going to lose a major character, I mean, and the reality is, I think we've been lucky up until this point that Lou and Marvin and Rock. I mean, look at how many times they've come close. You know, they've come close a lot of times, and they just ain't. So I think we did. Snaps and Pops will more than likely die. I think one of them does. I think one of them makes it to Origins. I think one of them is going to be in Origins. I think one of them dies. How and why, I don't know. But here's what I think. I think at some point we find out that they were the ones that took out Famous and they were the ones that took out Crystal. I just believe we find that out at some point. And I don't think both of them make it. I think one of them does, though. I think one of them makes it out. But I do not think we lose both of them. And I'm going to tell you another reason why. Because they're such a connected duo, I think they're going to separate one of them. That's just my opinion. I think one of them is gone. But I could be wrong. I think, so who do I think does not make it out? Unique is on the block for me. Again, we know that Unique doesn't make it to OG power in any capacity. They don't even talk about him. So somewhere Unique loses whatever he got. Now, whether he chooses to leave town to go be with his baby mama or he's unalived. The way him and Breeze, their interaction, I feel like he's unalived. I do not think Marvin makes it out, but I can see a space where Marvin is in jail. I can see a space where Marvin ends up going to jail, but I do not think Marvin makes it out. Rock, I don't know, y'all. I do not know what happens to Rock. I still feel like there's a place, and I know this is y'all ain't got to yell at me. Y'all don't have to yell at me because I know this is a long shot. But in the back of my mind, there's still a part of me that feels like when it's all over, said and done, Rock could ride off into the sunset and go to Charlotte to go be with old boy. I could see it. Okay, you said Stefano, Unique, Snap, and Taz. I definitely see Taz ain't going nowhere. I definitely see Taz ain't making it out. Stefano, yeah, I could see that. Unique, Snap, and Breeze. Yeah, again, one of them don't make it out. Oh, you didn't say Breeze. You said Breeze is underling. One of them don't make Snaps or Pops. I don't think both of them make it out. One of them gone. One of them is gonna be gone. You can see Rock going into witness protection. Well, we see how well witness protection works for Tasha as. But I could definitely see a space. Now, I do think that because a lot of people, myself included, we keep going back to when Kanan got out of jail and he said he had to go visit his mom. And I know there have been a lot of debates about whether he was talking about the cemetery or he physically went to go visit his mom. I think that's a line that they put when they wrote that line. I don't think they anticipated a prequel. I don't think they anticipated a Raising Kanan. So I don't think we need to put as much weight into that line that we do, because when that line was given, that was what, season 2 of Power. I don't even think they were thinking about a prequel at that point. So I don't think we need to put a lot of weight on that line. However, if the writers choose to put weight on that, I could see a space where Rock is alive. And either she's in Charlotte with old boy, she walked away from the game and she's in Charlotte with old boy, or she's in Virginia at the beach. She's down at the beach. Remember they've gone to, remember when she sent Kanan away? And so I could see either one of those things. Because the other thing is, I could see Rock walking away from the game, because think about it. Lou's gone. I think that Marvin, like I said, I think Marvin ends up either unalived or in jail. I think that Jukebox, whatever sends Jukebox to DC in the police academy, that happens. I don't know if Jukebox goes into Origins, or if this is at the end of this is where we see Jukebox make her exit. But I think when Jukebox finds out about Lou, which is what I think it is, I think that's going to be her exit. I think that's going to be her last straw with dealing with this fucking family, in my opinion. Exactly, Candy. I agree. I think we do have to let go of a lot of stuff that happened in OG Power, because they weren't even thinking about all of these spinoffs and stuff like that. Jukebox does exit because the actress has another job. There you go. My theory is Unique gets murked, but his death saves someone important, either Rock or the Italian capo. Because of that, Pernessa and Jerome are taken care of for life. Ooh. Y'all think Pernessa comes back in Origins? We know she don't come back in OG Power. Y'all think she comes back in Origins? Now, let me ask y'all this question, and then I'm done. We're going to get off of here. Is El Teddy live, Xavier? Let me know if he's live. Let me ask y'all this question. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think, y'all know that we just found out, well, we didn't just find out, but we know that Tommy and Tariq are doing a show, right? After Force, like what, book 5 or 6 or shit, I don't know anymore. Do y'all think they bring any of these people back now that we've established all of these characters? I know we think that the 90s was a million years ago, but it really wasn't. It is potential that some of these people could still be alive. Do you think they bring back a Pernessa or a Unique son? Now, that would be interesting if Unique son is in the game and him and Tariq have a run-in. Yeah, Jukebox becomes a police officer in DC. So that's what I'm saying. I think we're going to finally find out. I think that's how and why she gets to DC. And I'm saying that to say Rock has no reason to stay in the game. her and Kanan are whatever they are. Lou is gone, Marvin's gone, Juke is gone, her mama gone. What reason does she have to stay in the game? Like, I could see her walking away. Also, it's only 1992. Origins takes place in 1999, the early 2000s. Right. I'm not talking about Origin. I'm talking about this new show with Tariq and Tommy. I'm talking about current day, 2026. Do you think that now that we have this prequel and we've got all of these characters, do you think that they have any of these characters making any cameos or coming back in the new show? I think that would be an interesting connection to make. Because these people could, I mean, all of these people potentially could still be alive. I mean, other than the ones that get killed. You know what I mean? Like the older characters, maybe not. Like the Stefanos, who I guess he's supposed to be like an older guy, maybe not. But when we think about a professor or you think about Unique Son, Jerome could absolutely be a player in 2026. You know what I'm saying? He's only what? 8 or 9 years old in 1992. He absolutely could be around. You know what I'm saying? I thought they greenlit the show. I thought that's what was I thought that's what they said last week, that the show has been greenlit. That Tommy, I mean, they had promos and everything talking about you thought we were done. Like, they have promos and everything. I think the show was greenlit. Which I find interesting because 50 Cent keeps saying he ain't messing with stars no more, but yet here come these shows. I'm thinking some of these people could absolutely come back around in 2026. I could see Patina Miller in prosthetics as an old lady making a cameo, returning as a villain seeking vengeance for the destruction of her son, niece, and grandson. Yep. I could see that, Xavier, especially if they're going to have her still alive. I could absolutely see Patina Miller making a cameo. Hell, depending on what they do with Marvin's character, I could see Marvin being an old man coming around. Like I said, I know I've said that times already, but you son. What if Breeze has some kids? I mean, that's an open-ended situation because I don't think they've ever said that Breeze did or didn't. So they could always write a son in there for Breeze. I mean, if we're going to do it, we can do it. Who else from Origins, from Raising Kanan could still possibly be alive to come back around and make a connection? Famous sister, but we don't care nothing about her. I don't know. I can see Leisha coming back. Who is Leisha? I don't know who that is. And the one thing about these shows, they can always write children in. For example, Lulu could have a child. Famous's sister, she was in California, and remember when she came back for Famous's funeral, they slept together. She could absolutely have had a baby and not told nobody because she didn't want her child to get caught up in the game. She absolutely could have a baby out there in California and the baby just come back. I mean, I'm just saying Lulu could absolutely have he could have kids from the music exec and from old girl. Absolutely can. Sure can. What about the son? We know he had a child. You took him out. You know what I mean? Like, the possibilities are there. And I'm not saying they're going to do any of this, but I'd love to see 26. I don't know what they're calling it, legacy. I think they're calling it Power Legacy. I would love to see some of those cameos come through. I would love to see it. Jukebox's girlfriend, the one from now, the one she's dealing with now. Absolutely, I could see that. I could see it. So anyway, y'all, let me get out of here. Is El Teddy live? Hold on. That's what I was trying to check on, and I got sidetracked, child. I got to run in my mouth again. Yep, he's live. All right, y'all. I'm about to send y'all over to El Teddy, and we'll be back at 6:45-ish. Hold on. Boom, boom. And like I said, we'll do the Real Housewives of Rhode Island on. I'm gonna try to get it done on Wednesday, y'all. I'm gonna try to get it done on Wednesday. See here. Hold on, I'm gonna read the chat in a second because I want to see what y'all talking about. Let me see what other predictions y'all have. Let me see. They like to keep us guessing. Yeah. Lulu can have 2 kids. Yeah. Jukebox's girlfriend. Okay. I thought y'all said something new. Y'all ain't say nothing new. All right, we're about to head over to El Teddy's house. And like I said, we'll be back at 6:45-ish to talk about, let's have a good old-fashioned tribe meeting, honey. I'll see y'all later. Peace.